Save Floppy. Have you read The Evil Genie? The last magic adventure had gone wrong. Floppy had been left behind. A giant bird had caught him and had flown away. That was because a horrid genie had escaped from a bottle. It was all my fault, said Biff sadly. We got to go back and save Floppy, said the Chip. How can you make the key glow? Said Biff. We could never make it glow, but we must try, said the Chip. And we have to find a way to get the genie back into the bottle. Biff and Chip looked at the magic key. Oh, if only it would glow, said Biff. Then the magic key did begin to glow. The magic took the children back into the last adventure. The magic took them to an island. Biff recognized the place. She had been there before. It was the island where the giant bird had flown away with Floppy. Camel was still there. He was with his father Hassan. Hassan and Camel were mending their boat. Camel ran to meet them. You have come back, he said to Biff. Where have you been? You wouldn't believe it, said Biff, even if we told you. This is my brother Chip, said Biff. We have come back to rescue our dog. Camel shook his head. They'll be very dangerous, he said. The giant bird has taken him up to the top of the mountain. That's where we're going, said Biff. We must get up there as fast as we can. No, shouted the Camel. It's too dangerous. Have you forgotten about the evil genie? But we must save Floppy, said the Chip, determined. Biff and Chip went as fast as they could, but it was hard work. They had to climb over big rocks. At last, they came to the bottom of the mountain. Biff was tried. The mountain was steep and rocky. How can you climb up? Asked Biff, panting. Chip looked around and pointed to a dried-up stream. Let's go up here, he said. Biff and Chip began to climb up the mountain. Suddenly, there was a loud noise and a terrible smell. It was the evil genie. Ha! I can soon get rid of you, he shouted. The genie clapped his hands. Water began to gush down the dried-up stream. Biff and Chip had no time to climb out. The water was rushing towards them. Quick! Shouted the Chip. Climb onto the rock. Biff and Chip hung onto the rock. The water rolled past them. Biff and Chip were frightened. What are we going to do? Shouted Biff. I don't know, said the Chip. Then they saw Camel. He had followed them to the mountain. Hang on, he shouted. I will get you out. He threw a rope across the stream. It caught on a branch on the other side. Biff and Chip climbed out. Thank you so much, Camel, said Biff. The evil genie did this, said the Chip. You're welcome, said the Camel. I came to help you rescue Floppy. They began to climb the mountain again. Biff and Chip were grateful the Camel had come to help them. Biff saw the giant bird flying above them. What have you done with Floppy? She yelled angrily. It took them a long time to get to the top of the mountain. At last, they reached the nest of the giant bird. "Oh," said Chip, "look at all these bones. I hope the bird hasn't eaten Floppy up." "Floppy," called the beef, "where are you?" Then they saw Floppy. He had a contented look on his face. In front of him was a pile of bones. He was wagging his tail at the children. "Come on, Floppy," said the beef, "let's go." "We must get back as quickly as possible," said the camel. "The evil genie may come back soon." Floppy was reluctant to leave all the lovely bones. He took as many bones as he could in his mouth. Then they went down the mountain as fast as they could. On their way down, they met Hassan. He had come to look for them. "I've been worried about you," he said. "We're all safe," said the camel, "and we'll rescue Floppy." Hassan was worried. He looked at Camel. "The genie may use his powers again. We must get away from the island as quickly as we can," he said. They began to load things into the boat. Chip looked at the old chest on the beach. It had been washed out in a storm. "I don't know what's inside it," said Hassan. "There could be treasure." "Why don't you open it and see?" asked Chip. "I don't have a key," said Hassan. Chip had an idea. "Give me the magic key, Beef," he said. He put the key into the lock and turned it. The lid of the chest sprang up. Everyone looked in it, but it was completely empty. Suddenly there was a crackling sound and a terrible smell of rotten eggs. The evil genie had returned. "Ha!" he shouted. "You're all here now. I will deal with all of you once and for all." Chip had a clever idea to trick the genie. He shut the lid of the chest as loudly as he could. "Why did you shut that chest?" asked the genie. "What's inside it?" "Oh, it's something very valuable," said the Chip. "Is it treasure?" asked the genie. "It's a lot more valuable than treasure," said the Chip. The genie looked in the chest. "There's nothing in here," he said. "Oh, but there is," said the Chip. "You're just not looking hard enough." The genie bent inside the chest to look. Just at that moment, Chip pushes the genie into the chest and slammed down the lid as hard as he could. Then he locked it with a magic key. "How dare you!" shouted the genie angrily. "You'll pay for this when I get out." "But you can't get out," said the Chip. "Oh, yes, I can," said the genie. "I can't get out of the bottle, but it's easy to get out of a chest." "But you're lucky," said the Chip. "I'll use my powers," said the genie. The genie made himself thin and started to squeeze through the keyhole. However, he didn't notice that Chip was holding the bottle over the keyhole. "He fell for my trick," said the Chip. Hassan and Camel shook Chip's hand. "That was a clever Chip," said the camel. "The genie is again trapped inside the bottle. We can all go home now." "I'm glad everything is all right in the end," said the beef. The magic key began to glow. It was time to go. The magic took them home. Keeper ran into Biff's room. Hooray! You rescued the Floppy, he said. What happened to the apple genie? We put him back in the bottle, said the chief. The children looked at the little chest. I'm glad you didn't bring the bottle back from the adventure, said the keeper. Biff tried to lift the lid of the chest, but it wouldn't open. Now the key won't fit, she left. The end.